So I was just minding my business today, looking out the window, and I noticed something that I don't like that I hadn't seen before. And while I was trying to figure out exactly like what it was like three circles stacked up on top of each other, kind of like a snowman, but it was like green, or at least it looked green from where I was sitting. But then I saw this like what looked like a hot pink ribbon just flourish into the sky, and I was like, what the hell was that? Like, I just thought it was a ribbon, so like I looked away for a minute, and when I looked back, there was this really bright red bird just sitting on the fence. And I look out the window all the time, and like I see the birds, I talk to them, I know all the birds in the area. This bird I have never seen in the area before. And that whole flourish flutter, I guess, was just to get my attention to keep me looking over there. And like it was just sitting there out in the open. And I was just like, what the heck? And I watched it. And it was like the most beautiful, like reddish hot pink color I have ever seen in a bird. I was convinced. I was convinced that this was not a real bird. I was like, did my like sight just develop that much to where I am now seeing things that aren't really there? But then I looked it up, and it was like it turns out like it's a summer tanager. Its diet is wasps and bees, and it represents embracing diversity, fostering an inner harmony, and navigating life's spectrum with authenticity, attracting positive energy and connections. So, what I got from it is that this was a message, and I had to share it. So, because of its color, I linked it to like the root chakra. And when I was like looking at like what it represented and how beautiful it was, hot pink for me usually represents Aphrodite. So like that's to me that was like a signal of Aphrodite energy. And when I thought about that, I was like, okay, so we're getting into divine feminine. Even though those birds that the brightly colored ones are usually male, divine feminine energy is what I picked up on. And based on that, I kind of like gathered the diet of wasps, like eating wasps and bees, things with stingers, makes me think that the divine feminine energies have been under attack, but you've been like eating that shit. Like, really, like y'all have been conquering that energy. So, people who have taken painful action towards you and your growth, those painful situations really upped your ability to grow. And I also end up like listening to a couple of songs that I had to write down because that's just how I get my messages. So, you eating, all this stinging energy led to your growth, and it looks like there is going to be a come up. But the song that came on after I saw all of this is Without Me by Halsey. And that song was basically, talking about how somebody can be up, that someone who helped, like, she helped somebody get to the position that they're in. And they kind of like left her hanging and like left her behind. But what I'm getting from the song is that your come up is leaving somebody behind that thinks they really had a hand in making you when they really didn't. And then the song that came on after that was Crown by Billie Eilish. And that was giving dark feminine energy, like this is, yours for the taking. You take this. This is for you. This come up is for you. It's not for everybody else who thinks that they may have helped you or may have had a hand in it, which this also goes along with one of the other messages that I posted a while ago. So yeah, what I got is someone might be in their feelings about you not sharing whatever your profits are, whatever the case may be, but that's for you to determine. That's not for them to determine. And it's far more important right now for you to nurture and work on yourself. Oh, I also wrote down like they feel some type of way, but they weren't in the trenches with you while you were struggling through whatever it was that you were struggling through. There's some birds outside my house. But and it looks like, with the Billie Eilish song, it's time that you're being crowned. So the song that came out after that, like a little bit later, was Self Love by Jason Lyric and Nevaeh. And I wrote down that you need to worry about you first. You may have been sent people to help you, and people may have actually like assisted you in some way, but they may have actually failed their test in the way that they were supposed to assist you. They may have actually been guided to just assist you and then take a step back, and so they instead attempted to control you or use that assistance to like have some form of control or influence in your life, and that wasn't what they were supposed to do. Or they used their assistance to try to manipulate you in some other way. So you passed your test. This ended up actually creating a new test for you. You passed it. They didn't. Because they were just supposed to do it out of the kindness of their heart, not to manipulate you and not to try to have influence over what you were doing in your life. Then I looked up the meaning, like further meanings of the birds. And it's like what I picked up on through the messages was that, okay, so the birds usually find wide leaf trees and open clearings. So that gives me the essence of freedom. They're social birds and usually live in large flocks. They're constantly in motion, which symbolizes, their energy. And it's said that because of their vibrant colors, they radiate sunlight. And they also represent vitality, a zest for life. And so I came up with that now you're entering from a dark period, you're entering a period of vibrancy, of light, and like you're the sun now. You're the sun now. You've been in the dark for long enough, and now you're the sun. You're about to come out. You might actually be guided to wear brighter colors than normal, like go for the hot pinks and the really bright yellows and stuff like that, because the bright yellows, oranges, and like the reds are the colors that the bird comes in. And with them being social birds, you're actually about to start making some solid social connections that you can actually trust and like network. And these connections are going to assist you, because while I was watching the bird, it was just sitting there, and all the other like blackbirds that were flying around looked like they were putting in work. They were just working real hard, just flying this way and that bird just kind of just sat there. So this is going to be a rest period for somebody where you're going to finally have the connections that you need to assist you in resting, while it'll look like you're not doing anything, or it could look like you're not doing anything now, but your work is getting done. You're doing the work, and you're entering a period of rest and freedom. So yeah, that's what I got. Oh, another thing. You already are everything that you've ever wanted to be. It's just your journey is getting you to see it versus everybody else seeing it for you. So remember that. You're already exactly what or who you're supposed to be. You're only just taking this course to see it for yourself.